Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's Laurie from Cook Scrap Craft, and today's process video is a special one because it's for the what month are we in? It's for this month's challenge over at Challenge Yourself. And so the challenge, as always, is to use a photo of you or photos of you and then add the special theme. So this month's theme is to use stamps. You can use them however you want. I have stamps. I have a decent collection of stamps and some different colored ink pads, but I'm not really a big stamper. I don't use them very often. A couple weeks ago, I posted a process video where I stamped my own Halloween background, made my own, pattern paper design. So that's something that you could do for this challenge. At first, I thought that I was going to do that for this, and then I was kind of like, no, I just did that. It's not really. I don't really feel like doing that. I just didn't think it was going to work with what I had in mind. Not that I really had anything in particular in mind, but so I had these two photos, and the photos really informed which stamps I chose. So I have these two photos. One is of me at the Paula Deen Lumberjack Show in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, drinking Paula Deen's buttercream soda. It doesn't really have butter in it. It just tastes like regular cream soda. But she loves butter, so got to put that in the name somewhere. And then we were walking around Gatlinburg, and she has her own store there. There's a Paula Deen store, and there's a cardboard cutout of her inside the store. So I made my husband go in with me real quick and take a picture of me next to it. It was quite interesting. So I wanted to get some stamps that maybe had something to do with food. I had a Kaiser Craft stamp set that actually was food related, and so from that I took a rolling pin that said homemade, and then I had a who made it? It was from a Not Just for Boys Kit Club kit. It was one of their exclusive stamp sets. And you could make your own, sort of words with it or sentences with it. And so there was something that said crazy, and then another one that said about. And I thought, I'm gonna make this be crazy about butter, because Paula Deen and her butter. Although she's apparently healthy now or something, I don't know. I'm still not quite sure that we still like Paula Deen. I don't know. But I just think it's very, my friend and I have an obsession with her obsession with butter, and, putting the whole block of cream cheese in the pan and frying the oil, y'all. So I started stamping. I made marks where I was going to put the photos, and I backed the photos with some floral pattern paper from Cocoa Vanilla Studio, and the other two papers are, I think, from the Simple Stories Vintage Coastal Collection. So I made marks where I was going to have the photos, and then I did some stamping around that. So it looks like the stamping, it says crazy about, and then the little homemade on the roller, on the rolling pin, just kind of like putting stamps together and almost like creating your own pattern. That's kind of fun to do. So it looks like they're kind of popping out from behind the photo, and then I'm going to do a little bit more stamping on the white portion of the cardstock as well. Now I'm kind of going through some of my embellishments. The papers are from the August Paper Issues kit, but it's very beachy themed, and these are not beach themed photos. So I had some Jen Hadfield stickers that I didn't really know what to do with. They were from a past, I think, Best of Both Worlds kit, but they are food related. So there's a little croissant, there's a bag of bagels. Is that how you guys say it? My husband says I say bagel wrong because I'm from the Midwest. I don't know. There's a little tea kettle, a plant, a little cafe, house. And I thought, Paula Deen, cooking, that's sort of related. So those are the stickers that I decided to use. And they kind of went with the color scheme, light blues, grays, not a whole lot of bright, crazy rainbow colors. There's a cutting board with some flowers on it, a little jar of honey. I'm going to make a little embellishment cluster down there at the bottom. And yeah. That's kind of how I'm using my stamps. I'm just going to use the crazy about portion now. I removed the rolling pin, and the crazy about is going to be part of the title. So I will use alpha stickers to spell the word butter, but I got crazy about right there. And I don't have a Misty. I know a lot of people have a Misty. There's a big large size, there's a smaller size. I still use the smaller clear blocks just because that's easier, cheaper. And like I said, I'm not really a big stamper. So maybe you are like me and you're like, I have some stamps, but I don't really use them. Just like use them as you would an embellishment. I put one of the homemade rolling pins down there at the bottom embellishment cluster. You can just, turn them into your title, turn them into part of an embellishment, make your own pattern paper background, just, however you want to use them, just as long as for this particular challenge, you have a stamp somewhere on the page. So I'm just adding some of the chipboard stars and the little fun gemstones that are from the Paper Issues August kit to the rest of this layout, just to add some extra dimension and kind of build out more of those clusters, since I don't have a lot of embellishments that sort of like work with this. I am going to add, there are some like foam puffy hearts that are part of the Simple Stories Vintage Coastal sticker sheet. So I will add a couple of those. They kind of are in the right color scheme of like pink and blue. So just, again, to add a little bit extra, those will be put in there. And then I'm going to finish adding the word butter. Those are Pink Fresh alpha stickers. And I'm going to do some journaling at the bottom, something that I don't usually do. But before I even made this layout, I wrote the journaling down on a separate piece of paper so that I wouldn't forget what I wanted to say about the photos. So that's, just a little tip. If you are getting ready to scrapbook something and maybe you've pulled the things that you want to work, but you're not ready to sit down and go yet, or even if you've gotten your photos printed and you're going through them just to make sure everything's okay, and you see some photos and something strikes you in your head and you're like, oh, I want to journal about that, just grab like a Post-it and stick the Post-it on top of the photo and write down what you want to say. That way you don't forget, because it happens to me so often where I do forget. So the journaling for this is that Paula Deen is alive and well in Gatlinburg. No matter what anybody else in the rest of the world thinks of her and her views and cooking and whatever, people in Gatlinburg are really excited about her. And I think it's interesting because she's not from Tennessee. She's from Georgia. She has a restaurant in Savannah. That's where she got started. But I feel like she's trying to move her way into Tennessee because that's where Dolly Parton is. But Paula, you'll never be like Dolly. It's not going to happen. All right, so here are the close-ups. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. Leave me a comment below if you have a question, and I'll see you next time. Bye!